Hello, I'm the Dark Master, and welcome back to my LEGO reviews. This time I'll be covering set number 71721, the Skull Sorcerer's Dragon. Released in August 2020, it comes with 1,016 pieces and 6 minifigures. As always, let's start with the minifigures. From left to right, we have Hero Nia, Hero Kai, Hero Jay, the Skull Sorcerer himself, and 2 awakened warriors. Let us start with the heroes of the set. Hero Nia, I've covered before, but let's start from the top and work our way down. The Knight slash Ninja hood wrap has a distinct profile and really combines the 2 thematic elements into one. It's dual molded in Nia's case. It's gunmetal gray and silver. Beneath this, she possesses 2 face prints. One is a determined expression, the other is a more happy smile. Beneath that is some silver bulky armor, which is good. Shame, however, that the clip piece meant to hold either weapons or shield on the back is gold, but that can be quite easily fixed with a piece substitution, as that clip piece is molded in silver. Going down and removing the armor, we see her torso print. There is a bright silver breastplate with some damage and intricate blue markings. Beneath that is a tan fur undergarment, which is really nicely done. Beneath that is her normal ninja robe. The back print is similar, but you rarely see it due to the armor, and so I really don't think there's much to say about it. It's truly a shame, really. She has one gunmetal colored arm and another that is tan. Her leg printing is also extremely well made. For weaponry, she wields a golden tipped 3-part spear, which is simple but effective. For a shield, she has this nicely printed dragon faced shield. Overall, a great figure. Now let's go to her brother. Going to Kai, he has the ninja hood piece molded in red and gold. Beneath that, he has 2 faces, a confident smile and a serious frown. For armor, he uses the same piece as that of Nia, but molded in gold. So the clip on the back actually works and is not an issue anymore. So that is a positive. The torso print is a bit odd. While he has a nice armor print, it has this weird kind of odd crumpled face of a lion. And beneath that is Kai's standard ninja garb. I don't know, maybe if they removed that face, it wouldn't have been as bad, but by gosh, I think that little detail just throws me off a bit. The back print, unlike Nia's, is pretty weak, and it's actually good that it's covered up by the armor. It's okay, but just kind of forgettable. For weaponry, Kai wields an enhanced machete and a golden lion-faced shield. It's another amazing print. Kai's leg print is sadly forgettable. Finally, we have a new figure to review in Hero J. His ninja slash knight headpiece is molded in blue and silver. Overall, an amazing recolor. Beneath that, he has 2 faces. One is a nervous smile, the other is a serious frown. His armor is identical to Nia and as such has the same issues. So let's move on. The torso print is superior to Kai's, possessing a star inlaid with a circular piece bearing a rose slash bush. The back print is simpler than that of the front, but unlike Kai's, it looks much better. And it's quite a shame that it's hidden beneath the armor. Behind this is Jay's regular blue ninja robes, which are tucked in to his pants. He has one silver and one blue arm. The leg print is good and stands out as it's on a dark blue leg piece. In terms of accessories, Jay comes with the, same Eastern dragon shield as Nia, but for weaponry, he wields a large flail. The head is quite stony and definitely could leave a mark if it hit someone with it. Overall, he's the best hero of the set and is a great minifigure. Let's go over the villains now. First, we get none other than the Skull Sorcerer himself. The big bad of the season, who is not Klaus, possesses a great face slash helmet piece. On the top is a black straw hat, reminiscent of those worn by other figures like Master Wu or the Stone Army. The white face is scarily eerie. Also, a little detail few cover when they review this figure is that he has some subtle cheekbones and prominent eyebrows that you don't really see well on official pictures. It's just kind of a little detail you might not notice unless I point it out. Removing this face piece, we get a look at his face print, which is a greatly angered yell. He has prominent eyebrows, indeed, and cheekbones. Going down to his torso, he bears a pagan symbol and intricate robes with many tassels and Ninjago runes. Going to the back, he has a pair of black bat wings attached via black clips to a translucent piece. Removing this, that we see he has even more tassels on his back print. He has two black arms, and moving down to his legs, he uses this new dress piece, which is very interesting, and has more cult-like runes and tassels. I kind of don't know why they don't just use the slope piece instead, but I guess they wanted to improve on it. In terms of accessories, he wields the skull of Hazadur. The skull of Hazadur uses the new skull mold, but this time molded in spring green, giving it a distinct appearance. Though, just to be clear here, it doesn't glow in the dark, because some people believe it did, but that's probably likely due to some photoshops on the box of the set. It has a glowing two-toned eyes and gnarly teeth, as well as a residue rot beneath the mouth, indicates its ominous evil power, which is pretty accurate to the show. Overall, it's a great recolor and it'll definitely be useful. Now let's go over the mooks of the set. The Awakened Warriors have been described as the edgy Skullkin, and that is kind of true due to how they lack the individuality and some of the charm of the Skullkin. I think if they had maybe a few or even one that looked different from the others, that might have helped things. But on the flip side, they are really easily massable. But then again, they're really only in the two largest sets, so you can't really mass them easily. So yeah, they're kind of failures in some regards. But the figures themselves are amazing. The black samurai bone helmets, the skull piece, now molded in black with haunting green glow emanating from the mouth, nose, and eyes. The skeleton has all those pieces molded in black and possesses some minor armor, which you could leave off if you wanted to make them more diverse. For weaponry, the pair come with two silver katanas, Both figures are identical, but I will note that it is kind of a missed opportunity that there wasn't one with a spear, because they are depicted having a spear in the show. Now let's go to this sort of weird sort of build that could technically be a minifigure, but it's not counted. So I kind of decided to put it in between where I would normally talk about the build and where I'd normally talk about the figures. It's a statue. From the top, this statue has a bob slash ponytail, which is good to get recolored, I guess. There is no print on the face as it's light gray. There's no torso print, but there is this old style of samurai armor, with the front being more open than the back. Honestly, it's kind of a missed opportunity that has absolutely no printing, but then again, I guess they wanted to avoid a spoiler. Yes, this is in fact Cole's mom, Lily. She also has the dress piece in the same light gray color. For accessories, she wields a huge axe that makes her very front heavy, which again makes sense for the set, which we'll talk about later. Also, she holds a simplistic silver shield. Overall, I think it's fine, but I do wish there was some print. But then again, if there was print, it might have spoiled the, spoiler, but I don't know. It seems like a bit of a compromise, really. Now, let's cover the pieces and the build. Well, when it comes to the pieces, there's just so much diversity there that I can't really talk about them all in any significant detail. I will say I like all the slopes, and I also like those eye prints used for the dragon, but we'll cover that later. I like the new molded tarantulas slash generic spiders. It's a real shame they had to get rid of the old ones, but it is kind of cool. I like both designs, but it's always nice to have a little more diversity. And I realized that the old ones were not as well liked by some people. In terms of other notable pieces, I like how we get the skull piece in 3 different colors. That's going to be amazing for mocking. Overall, the pieces are great, and here are like pictures of all of them. So if you want to look at specific pieces, here's your opportunity to. Now, what those pieces build, however, there are these 2 stands meant for the heroes. It's meant for the board game aspect of this wave, which maybe I'll discuss in some future video if people are really interested. But you do kind of need to get all the sets to fully enjoy that aspect, so I'm just going to be judging this set as it is, because frankly most people won't be able to get all sets in this wave. But in general, these stands have boxes to hold extra things like accessories or gemstones. And there's what's meant to be these health points, again, for the board game aspect. They're neat little builds. I think you could probably easily make them with extra pieces, though you might have to use something other than the heart-shaped pieces. There is then the spinner slash dice piece, meant again for the board game, which it's okay, it's a nice design, and I think you could definitely use it outside of its intended context, which is always great. Now let's cover this terrain, which is the second most significant build of the set. Let's start from the left and move to the stronger right. The first piece is a really simple with an arrow and a bone piece. Going forward, we come to a turning bridge with a little gold nugget. Also, there is that new skull piece yet again in white with a completely different print than previously. Sinister, ooh. Also, there's this bright green flame, which kind of is interesting. This bridge, sadly, is limited due to only having 3 ways it can go. Again, that's due to the board game aspect of the set, but I really think they should have allowed it to go all the way around, because then there'd be more mockability, but I can understand why they wanted to keep it limited for the sake of, again, the board game. First, we have this side route. It's pretty good. There are these two rock formations that can be posed up or down. There is a skull indicating danger, where I think you're supposed to put an awakened warrior. There are two treasures at the end, a blue crystal, possibly sapphire, and an extra health piece. Going further right, we get the last and best part of the terrain. Firstly, there's one of these little redesigned spiders, which is an excellent addition to Legafauna. There is a mechanism that causes the statue to fall over and club whoever happens to land there. And after one last danger zone, there is the ultimate treasure to get, the Ivory Blade of Deliverance. The Ivory Blade of Deliverance is an extremely well designed piece and is essentially the inverse of the Shadow Blade of Deliverance, as it has a white blade and a skull as opposed to a black blade and skull. The little holder for it is also excellent, but I think it's time to get into the build you really came here to learn about, that being the Skull Sorcerer's Dragon, also known as Griefbringer. Starting with the head, this has to be the best brick build dragon head released up to this point. There is an amazingly sculpted chin and snout. A pair of fangs indicate teeth. Even the exposed lime mouthpiece work due to the nature of the green magic animating the beast. A printed eyepiece furthers the spooky appearance and is quite excellent. His mouth can open and close thanks to these skulkin arms, which have these exo arms clipped on for even more detail. Going to the top, there are numerous clasps and spines, which provide excellent articulated shaping that helps to aid the eye print. The neck has a socket which connects to a neck segment, which has a good bit of articulation and excellent shaping. Plus, it has a translucent green pyramid, which is the most painful Lego piece to step on. You're not going to enjoy it if you step on it. Now let's go on to the torso. The torso consists of two segments. The front is a very gappy region, but that is okay because it's meant to be a ribcage of a dead dragon. Going to the top, we said that this dragon has this new armor piece in gray, used as these back scales. On the shoulder, there are these two disc shooters that work fine, and they're a pretty good play feature, though you will lose those pieces if you're not careful. There is a place for the Skull Sorcerer to sit on, with two flags bearing the pagan symbols. On either side are these wings. Now, normally I complain that despite the amazing cloth pieces, these dragon wings are usually pretty skeletal. But the fact is that this is an undead dragon, means that this normally extremely problematic element is in fact perfectly fine. Beneath the wings are these beefy arms which use these rock pieces in white. Unfortunately, there's no articulation at the shoulders, which, yeah, it's not good. And that was a really important part of articulation in other dragons, so the fact that it's missing is kind of bad. The front legs have 2 points of articulation, and the toes are really well done. The droid piece is kind of odd, though. Going down the back, we see the activation site for the second action feature of the dragon, which is this feature that allows the ribcage to open, letting a translucent green boulder fall out. Depending on luck, this boulder can burst open, revealing a few spiders and a blackened bone that, even when not released, do provide something to the set, giving it this rattling sound that really works in the context of this dragon. Going down the back, we see the combination of the gray stony back and the white rib cage. The back legs are fine, but have only 2 points of articulation and thus are arguably weaker than the front legs. The feet are largely the same but smaller and have a gap, which, it's not that good. The tail of this dragon follows the same pattern as most other large dragons, with 3 largely identical segments, followed by an endpoint, which in this case uses 2 construction pieces to give it significant extra length. Shame the construction makes posing a nightmare, though the fact that this dragon is skeletal means that it being very a thin tail is actually fine. Overall, in conclusion, I think this is a wonderful set. The figures are all amazing, though the back clip of Nia and Jay and the torso print of Kai are a bit weak. The builds are also good, but I will say some of them do seem a bit redundant if you're not playing the board game. And the dragon is amazing, except for the shoulders. The shoulders are a bit of a weak point. Overall, I can highly recommend this set. At least buy it if you can, because the Skull Sorcerer and the Awakened Warriors are just great. Plus Jay, and I think you'll really enjoy building it. I can heavily recommend this. I'm the Dark Master, and join me next time on my LEGO reviews. Have a nice day.